Greetings, you magnificent multicellular marvel, you glorious walking bag of stardust and delightfully squishy organs. May the cosmic lint in your belly button reveal ancient secrets this week. And may every stray sock in your laundry basket spontaneously reunite with its long-lost twin. You utterly fascinating, bewildering, beautiful mess of a human being. It's a privilege for your auditory orifices to be graced by my humble vibrations. All right. Deep breaths, everyone. That's my little way of saying welcome. Truly, it is a genuine pleasure to have you tuning in here on the Narrative Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Gerald Tabb, and I sincerely hope your week has started off with a gentle breeze, a good cup of something warm, and perhaps a moment of unexpected joy. Seriously, you deserve it. You know, I had an experience this past weekend, something that frankly felt like a miniature epic, a saga of personal triumph and utter, bewildering frustration, all wrapped up in a few square feet of linoleum. I'm talking about a leaky faucet. Yes, a leaky faucet. Not exactly the stuff of heroic ballads, is it? But let me tell you, when you wake up at 3 a.m. to that relentless rhythmic drip, 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 echoing off the bathroom tiles, it starts to sound like the very drumbeat of existential dread. It's mocking you. It's whispering, I am water. I am patient. And you, my friend, are losing precious sleep and probably growing mold behind your vanity. So, Saturday morning, bright and early, or as early as one can be after a 3 a.m. symphony, I ventured into the murky depths beneath my bathroom sink. The air under there was, well, it was the air of forgotten dreams, and the dust bunnies the size of small rodents. There was a faint metallic tang of old pipes, mixed with a very specific, slightly mildewy scent that I've come to associate with things that need fixing. I remember kneeling there, my back protesting instantly. A little pop, a little crack, just to remind me I'm not as spry as I used to be. The light was terrible. I had my phone flashlight balanced precariously on a wrench, casting long, dramatic shadows that made every spider web look like a scene from a horror movie. My tools, a mismatched collection of wrenches, pliers, and a very suspicious-looking roll of plumber's tape that had seen better decades, lay scattered around me like ancient artifacts. My motivation, pure, unadulterated stubbornness, mixed with a healthy dose of wanting to save $100 on a plumber. Plus, there's something undeniably satisfying, isn't there, about fixing something with your own two hands. It's like a tiny act of defiance against a world that increasingly wants us to just click buttons and buy new things. I tried tightening this nut, then that one. The water just laughed, its drip laugh. I wrestled with a corroded pipe. The cold, gritty metal scraping against my knuckles. I could feel the vibrations of the water just beyond my grasp, mocking me. My thoughts started to wander. Who designed this thing? I wondered. Did they want it to leak? Was there a secret plumber society? That intentional thing that made things just complicated enough to require professional intervention. And then a more philosophical tangent. Why do we build things that eventually fall apart? What's the point if decay is inevitable? Heavy stuff for a leaky faucet, I know. But that's just how many brains work. After about an hour of grunting, muttering, and a few truly creative expletives that I won't repeat here, I finally located the source. It was the nut or the pipe, but a tiny, almost invisible rubber washer. A washer. A tiny, insignificant piece of rubber, probably costing less than $1, was the linchpin holding my sanity hostage. The triumphant moment of replacing it, handshaking slightly, then slowly, carefully turning the water back on. The blessed, glorious silence, no drip. Just the soft hum of the house settling. The air still smelled a bit like old pipes, but now it was tinged with the scent of victory. I emerged from under the sink, blinking in the real light, my knees stiff, my skirts smudged, but with a grin spreading across my face. It was a small thing, but it felt monumental. And as soon as I stood there wiping my hands, looking at this unassuming faucet that was now simply doing its job, it got me thinking about foundations, about the small, often unseen components that hold everything together, about the foresight, or lack thereof, that goes into building something designed to last or to fail. And that, my friends, is a perfect, albeit slightly grimy, transition to the incredible narrative we're diving into today. The story of W.E. Upjohn and the Gilmore legacy. See, just like that little rubber washer, there are individuals and families whose quiet foundational work, their vision, their generosity, their narrative mindset has continued to shape communities, often for generations, in far way more profound ways than a simple drip. Let's talk about William Erastus Upjohn. He wasn't just a pharmacist, though he was certainly a brilliant one. Born in 1850, he was a man driven by a singular frustration that many of us can relate to on a different level: inefficiency and inconsistency. Back in the late 19th century, if you were prescribed a pill, it was often a crude hand-rolled concoction where the active ingredient might not even be properly distributed. You might get a super dose in one part and nothing in another, leading to an unreliable, sometimes dangerous results. Upjohn, being a doctor and a meticulous man, thought, this is absurd. There has to be a better way. And so he invented the freeable pill. Imagine this: a pill that was designed to literally disintegrate easily into the stomach, ensuring the medication was uniformly absorbed. He patented it in 1885. This was just a clever intervention. It was a game changer in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It was about precision, about reliability, about genuine commitment to patient well being. It went beyond just selling a product. He wasn't just building a company, he was building a standard. And that standard became the Upjohn Company, a name that will become synonymous with quality pharmaceuticals for over a century. Now headquartered in Kalamazoo, Michigan, they became a global powerhouse. But here's where the narrative of W.E. Upjohn intertwines beautifully and profoundly with another family, perhaps less known globally, but absolutely monumental in their local impact. The Gilmores. Enter James and Irma Gilmore. They were close friends with the Upjohn family, sharing a similar spirit of community and foresight. Through this connection, a truly remarkable legacy was forged. The Gilmore family, through their deep friendship and shared vision with the Upjohns, became beneficiaries of that prosperous enterprise. And what did they do with that significant wealth, that foundation of success? They didn't just hoard it. They didn't just build bigger houses, though I'm sure they had lovely houses. They invested it back into the community. And not just in a transient way, but in a way that spoke to the very sense of a lasting narrative. The most prominent example, and truly an extraordinary one, is the Gilmore Car Museum. Now, if you've never been, picture this. Over 400 vehicles, from antique horseless carriages to classic muscle cars, spread across 90 acres in the Michigan countryside. It's not just a collection. It's a living testament to automotive history, set in an old, charmingly rustic village, complete with a functioning hostage. And just like William Erastus Upjohn's meticulous mind built a standard that shaped medicine for generations, so too can quiet, deliberate choices shape a community, a legacy, a life. The Gilmores didn't just enjoy the fruits of success, they nurtured it. They planted seeds that would grow long after they were gone. And isn't that the ultimate lesson for all of us? To focus not only on what we achieve for ourselves, but on the lasting impact of our actions, on the stories we leave behind, on the unseen washers that hold everything together. So as you move through your week, think about your own rubber washers, the small, often invisible things you do that support, protect, or uplift others. It might be a kind word, a timely call, a moment of patience, or even just the decision to show up when it matters most. Because in the end, that's what builds more than houses, cars, or companies. It builds legacies, it builds communities, it builds a narrative that outlives us. And that, my friends, is exactly what we celebrate here on the Narrative Mindset podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for allowing me to share these stories, reflections, and yes, my weird leaky faucet epiphanies. Remember, small things matter, foundations matter, and your narrative, your mindset, can ripple out in ways you may never fully see. I'm Gerald Tabb, and it's been a genuine pleasure to have your ears, your attention, and your curiosity today. Until next time, take care, be deliberate, and nurture your own legacies, one small, vital act at a time.